Black and Gold Standard Podcast. And today we want to get into the scouting report and talk about the grades of the game. The Pittsburgh Steelers pulled off the victory yesterday, 34-12. Got back on track. Um, so that was actually a good thing. Um, I kind of predicted they would win this game. They didn't win it the way I kind of thought it would go, but a win is a win. Um, the Steelers got some issues they got to deal with. The injury to Aaron Rodgers. We'll have to see once more news come out about that as far as how much time is he looking to miss. It's reported that he got a small fracture in his left wrist. So we'll just see, if he's going to be able to play next few weeks, or is this show going to turn over to Mason Rudolph, which he came in yesterday. And there's nothing wrong with it, but at this point, Mason is a professional backup. I mean, he's a backup. He's accepted that role, and he came in yesterday and didn't miss a beat. I mean, the offense, kind of performed, and some people even say the offense seemed like it even performed even better with Mason in there. So, we'll just see how that shakes out. I'm assuming at worst, Rodgers definitely gonna miss this week. This Bears game, and I'm quite sure he wanna definitely play in this game. Kind of his stomping ground, the old stomping grounds. He has a very good record against the Bears, so we'll see. We'll see what happens. But for right now, let's get right into the grades and get right into this, and let's talk about this game and review this game and see how things went. So, with the victory, the Steelers moved to 6-4. Cincinnati Bengals, actually, that should be. I think the Bengals are 3-7 now. But with that said, it's actually the game started off. The game started off like it was going to be a shootout. I mean, the Steelers went right down the field and scored. The Bengals came right back, in which the Bengals haven't had a first drive touchdown all year. They come right back down, score a touchdown on their first drive, and I'm thinking like, here we go, hang on. It's about to be a 45-40 game. But then after that, it just totally shifted. The momentum and everything totally changed. So the Pittsburgh Steelers end up getting the 34-12 victory. Again, like in anything, in most NFL games, if you win, if you win the turnover battle, more than likely you're going to win the game. And the Steelers did that. But then on top of that, you add 2 defensive touchdowns to that. That's usually going to be a victory for you. On the flip side, and like I say, what I try to do, I try to look at everything. And one of the things, I mean, you take away those 2 defensive touchdowns, this score is 20-12. So this is a much closer game. But the defense is allowed to make plays, in which that's what they did, and put 2 touchdowns on the board. So you can't never be mad at that. So let's get right into it. The quarterback. Well, as we know, Aaron Rodgers left right right before halftime. It didn't come back. Um, Broken bone in his wrist. Mason Rudolph came in, and I think he did a fairly good job. Like I say, at this point, Mason is a seasoned veteran. He understands his role. He's accepted his role, and I'm quite sure through the week. I mean, the reps that he's getting, and it's probably not a lot, but the reps. But see, you know what? I will say this though, for Mason, by having an older quarterback, and I think this kind of should have benefit Mason even when he was here with Ben. I don't know. I don't know how it is with Rodgers, but I know Ben would take that day off, take a day off of practice. I think he would take that Wednesday off or something. And I don't know if Rodgers is doing that, but probably backing up an older quarterback, Mason probably actually gets more reps through the week than most backup quarterbacks probably get. And came in the game, was confident, didn't look rattled or anything like that. And like I say, a lot of people would say Mason the offense looked better with Mason in there. So with that said, the quarterback play, I gave it a C plus. And again, I'm kind of hard with the grading. I don't try to get into that, that feel good story or hey, the team won and hey, everybody gets an A. So I try to keep the grading as realistic as I can. And I gave him a C plus. I mean, Mason was 12 of 16, 127 yards, 75%, and a touchdown. But like I say, you take away those 2 touchdowns, the offense only was able to muster up 20 points. And if you would have told me at 20, the Steelers would have only scored 20 points, I would have said they probably would have lost this game. Because Cincinnati's been playing some crazy shootout games lately. But with that said, let's go to the running backs. Again, I don't know if this is I don't know. I don't know if this is an Arthur Smith thing. Warren start the game. I mean, running real well. Really was running all over Cincinnati. But at the end of the game, and granted, he did come out a little bit because he got hurt, which I still say one of my issues I have, and this is with the Rooneys. That field, I mean, if you're going to be playing college, a big time college program, Pitt playing on Saturday, Steelers got to come back on Sunday and play. That's ridiculous. And the field, I mean, actually, the field was in good shape. It wasn't really tore up, but you had to have guys with the screw ins. And I even said this yesterday. At this point, a lot of these guys they ain't used to playing with screw ins and 7 spikes, on their shoes because I mean really now from high school because majority of your high schools now got field turf. Definitely in college, I mean, or you do have some colleges that have grass, but they're the only team that's playing on that field. So that field gets to get really back in good shape after a game. It has a whole week, before, it maybe had to be used again. Or it might go some weeks without getting used, just depending on how the schedule falls. But Warren foot got stuck in the turf and kind of twist his foot a little bit, but that could have been a bad injury. He could have easily snapped his ankle. And I just think that's just a bad deal on the Rooneys. I don't care. At the end of the day, you're the big show there, and you got the $1 million. Well, I don't know. College got some $1 million players now. too. But you got the big time players there. You need to really have that field together. But with the running backs, I gave him a B. Um, 10 carries, 62 yards, 6.2 yard average. Gainwell had a monster game. Not really so much rushing the ball, but receiving. I think he caught 7 balls for like 81 yards, 2 touchdowns. The running backs really did their thing, but again, the issue is where are the carries at? We're not getting the carries, and I really don't understand it. I don't know. At first, a lot of people say, well, Rodgers is audible and out of him, but I mean, he didn't play half the game, and we still wasn't running the ball. So I don't really get that. But anyway, the wide receivers again really not used. It's kind of hard to really judge those guys when they're not being asked. They're not asking them guys to really do much. So with that said, DK Metcalf had 5 receptions, 49 yards, and 9.8 average. I just gave the receivers a C because again, not that they were really that bad. It's just the fact we're not using them. They're not using them at all. So that's just I don't know. I don't know. And to me, the way the NFL is now, like I watched Buffalo, and Buffalo had kind of hit a spell for a minute, wasn't playing too well. But I just watched that game, a little bit of that game yesterday. And to me, yeah, you would think your defense can just step up to the plate and you could say, well, they're not going to do that to our defense. But man, these quarterbacks, especially when you talking to Josh Allen's and all them type guys, them guys are going to make plays on you. Because Buffalo, I mean, as much as we cry in Pittsburgh about receivers and not having enough, Buffalo is really don't have anything. But they got Josh Allen. They got number 17 back there, and he's gonna just make plays. He's one of those guys. He's elevating those guys' talent because he's an MVP. So I don't know. The Steelers, this is just something they're gonna have to figure out. But anyway, the tight ends. I mean, we all seen it. Darnell Washington was a monster. He was a monster yesterday. I mean, those guys. I mean, he jumping over people. He man, that was a great showing that he put on yesterday. Big time. So with the receivers, Washington led the way with 4 receptions for 67 yards, 16.8 yard average. I gave the tight ends a B. Again, Firemouth had one catch for 19. Smith, I don't know what's going on with him. He's almost on a milk carton right now. I don't know what his deal is. But Darnell Washington, I mean, I guess you could say this probably was his coming out party. I mean, he really came out there to play, and he did some good things. I mean, especially on that one pass where he basically just ran over 3 guys. So with that said, offensive line again, from running the ball wise, like I say, they were running the ball great. I thought just not running it enough. And you want to see these guys get better, but it's just seemed like they, for some reason with this offense, they just don't really get the opportunity to run it, 30, 40 times a game, So I still think Rodgers Rodgers get hit too much. Broderick Jones, if you and I haven't even watched the all 22 yet. Um, but Broderick Jones, I just watching the regular game, still too much. He still give up too much ground. Guys still get past him. Your quarterback's getting hit too much. Now he has a broken wrist. Um, we'll say right now the one thing I did this weekend was I watched some old Aaron Rodgers film, just to kind of, because like I say, we never see highlights of him, but I wasn't watching Green Bay, so I just wanted to watch some film just to see, how Aaron Rodgers really played. And one of the things that I think Aaron Rodgers is still doing is he like moving around in the pocket, holding the ball a little longer, just to get guys open, because he had that spectacular arm talent, so he could throw the ball from any angle, going in any direction. So I think somewhat Rodgers still kind of be trying that, and he has to realize that part of it he can't do anymore. But still, though, I'm not gonna never say he's just holding on to the ball, because I mean this is a first ballot Hall of Famer, 4-time MVP. So I'm not gonna sit here and act like I know everything that man is seeing. So apparently, yeah, he might be holding on to the ball a little bit, but I just think we got guys that's not getting open. And I think sometimes when you match it up with how quick they're getting in past our offensive line, yeah, it do look like some guys are open, but by the time them guys are getting open, he's getting flushed out the pocket. So with that said, I gave the offensive line a C plus. I don't really think they played too bad, and then I don't really think they played too good. Like I say, your quarterback got a busted wrist right now, and I just think he's taking too many hits, and unfortunately, it finally caught up with him. So the offensive grade overall, I gave the offense a C plus, because like I said, you take away those 2 touchdowns that the defense scored, we only put up 20 points, and let's not be fooled, and let's keep it 100. Let's take our fandom glasses off. The Cincinnati defense is terrible. That, I mean, it's probably some. No, I won't say that. I'm not gonna go that far with it, but their defense is terrible. It's the worst defense in the league, and we still only was able to muster like 20 something points. So um we can't get too excited. I mean, it's still a work in process. But I gave the offense a C plus. All right, let's move over to the defense, the edges. Um Again, I thought that we would just have a little bit more production than what they did. Didn't play bad. I mean, Herbert, I think he led the way. I know he had a sack. TJ didn't have a sack. I know he batted down 2 balls. And I think he might have had a tackle for a loss. Um, Highsmith didn't play, missed the game, and which to me, I have a big issue with that. That's why I think he may not be here next year, just for the fact of he missed too many games for me. But I thought overall those guys did pretty good. Like I said, Herbert only had 2 tackles, 1 sack, 1 tackle for a loss. But I gave the edges a B. I thought they played a solid game. Again, you would thought that they were going to have more production um, against Cincinnati with their offensive line, but um, I thought they were real solid. Defensive tackles, um, not bad. I mean, they were getting some push up the middle. They kind of pressured Flacco. I think that when he threw that interception, the pocket was kind of caving in on him. And he got rid of the ball and actually Duggan should have had two interceptions. The first one hit him right in the hand. So the pressure was getting to him, but I kind of dinged the defensive line a little bit because Chase Brown kind of had his way a little bit with them as far as running the ball. So I got a defensive tackles a C plus. Cam Hayward had 5 tackles, which is not really bad for a defensive lineman in the Steelers system. All right, let's go to linebackers. Linebackers are pretty much the same thing. Like nothing really special. They kind of struggled a little bit with the running game. To me, what I don't understand, and maybe it's just a Steelers scheme, but I know one of the things that we always taught. I mean, I was never a defensive coach, but one of the things I knew our defensive coordinators always taught our linebackers was when you see a receiver running a short drag across the field, you because you can hit him. You can hit that guy because he's not up the field. So you can actually hit him or make him change his course. And I don't know. The Steelers seem like the Steelers don't do that. Higgins basically ran that drag right across the a short drag too. Probably because he probably was only up the field maybe 1-2 yards. Ran that drag and it kind of puts Sawyer in a bad position, and they gave up the touchdown. So the inside linebackers, I gave them a C plus. Patrick Queen led the way with 10 tackles. Again, they wasn't terrible, but they wasn't great either. So I gave them a C plus. The corners, I have to really give it to these guys. They really stepped up. Probably was embarrassed from the first matchup where Chase, I don't know, he caught like 16 balls or something like that. Something ridiculous. So the corners, even Porter, he played a good game. I mean, because I've been on him, pretty hard. But hey, when you deserve credit, I'm gonna give you credit, and he played a good game. James Pierre turned into Reeves Island or something. um, Great game, a great game from him. Whenever you can hold Jamar Chase to, I think he caught 3 balls for 60 yards. I mean, excuse me, 3 balls for 30 yards. That's a win. That's definitely a win. I think Higgins had like 60 something receiving, but he caught. Most of that was in the first couple of drives, and after that, he really didn't do much. So the corners, I thought they played an excellent game, and I gave those guys a B plus. James Pierre, 6 tackles, 2 pass defense, a fumble recovery, and a touchdown. Um, Probably gonna be in the mix for. Nope. Yep. Nope. He won't get it. I just thought about it. I think Myles Garrett had 5 sacks yesterday, so he won't get defensive player of the week. But he'll definitely be in the running for it. But like I say, I thought those guys played well. Safeties, again, same thing. I thought they were out there being physical. Duggins, he had the pick six, and if he catches the first one, he catches that one in stride also, and that may have been a pick six. So safety was, they were out there doing their thing, and I gave those guys a B plus also. Duggins led the way, 3 tackles, 2 pass defense, an interception, and a touchdown. Like I said, whenever you get your defense to score 2 touchdowns, um, if they broke that down, I think your winning percentage is probably about 80, 90%. That if that happens, you're going to win that game. So with that said, the defensive um the defensive final grade was a B. Gave those guys a B, and it was well deserved. Well deserved. The guys played hard. Like I say, probably was a little embarrassed of the first matchup and wanted to probably get that taste out their mouths as far as how that went. And I thought the guys played well, and it turned out good for them. Special teams, um, hey, the boss with the boss, even on one of his extra points, hit the upright and it still bounced in. So when you get those breaks, you got it going on. It was windy. It was a windy day. So I'm quite sure kicking was a little hard. But with that said, I gave those guys an A. The Boss went 2 for 2 field goals, 4 for 4 extra points. Corliss Williams had 3 punts for 133 yards, a 44.3 average. The return game was good. I know Williams ended up going out with a concussion, and Calvin Austin had to come in and take over the punt duties, and didn't do bad. I mean, it didn't really break anything, but at least he caught the ball, so that's a good thing, especially when you haven't done it for a while, and on a windy day. That's really that makes it really tricky. So special teams got their usual A. Let's go to the coaching. Um, Offensive coordinator Arthur Smith. I I, I don't know. Just a weird game because you lost Rogers, and so I don't know how much he really wanted to give Rudolph. It kind of seemed like they didn't really miss a beat. It don't really seem like the offense changed, but um, I just not understanding not running the ball, especially against this defense, and when Warren was really you know kind of taking it to him. So with that said, I gave Arthur Smith a C plus. Um, Steelers had 22 first downs, 343 total yards, 5.7 yards per play, 111 yards rushing, 232 yards passing. So it was a solid effort. It was a solid effort, and I think a solid effort is a C plus. Um, Defensive coordinator. Um, you know, hey, again, this is another person that I've been hard on. So Terrell Austin, I got to give him some credit. He had a good game plan. They did a lot of different little things with the secondary, and the Bengals had really just been on a tear, even though and that was from a good defensive play. I mean, Flacco came in kind of hurt with his shoulder, but it was one play where actually they ended up calling the penalty on um on Watt because they saying he landed on Flacco with his body, which I thought was a BS call. But really, after that play, Flacco really couldn't throw the ball. I mean, he was throwing it, but if you paid attention, he had a lot of balls he was throwing in the dirt. So I think his shoulder was really jacked up. So with that said, I get a defense a B plus. I mean, they gave up 297 total yards, 192 passing, 105 rushing, one interception, 2 touchdowns. So hey, they made plays. And like I say, you scored 2 touchdowns. That's huge. And the rushing, 105 yards. I'm not gonna really trip on it, but I just thought that maybe it was just a little bit too much. But you know, it is what it is. Head coaching, Mike Tomlin. Um, and this is something I kind of expect because this is what they do. This is their mo. Um, Coming off a bad game, he had the guys ready to play. Um, a divisional game. Um, and came up with because I always kind of loop Mike Tomlin in with the defense because I mean that's just what he runs. Uh, but we will see. And the Steelers, like I say, if you just check the history, for some reason, Steelers don't play good in Chicago for whatever reason. I remember they went up there and lost to what was that quarterback name? Man, I can't think of the kid's name. Gannon or something like that. Uh, I, I can't think. I know he. I remember the kid because he went to NC State. But anyway, the Steelers don't play good up there, so we'll see how that shakes out. But that's it for now, and until tomorrow when we will have the ops. And what we'll do with the ops is we'll pick 6 players, um, 3 on offense and 3 on defense that I think the Steelers have to worry about from the Chicago Bears. And we'll talk to you again tomorrow. So until then, make sure you like and subscribe, and I will talk to you later. All right, take care, and that's it. Bye bye.